Welcome to another exciting, interesting episode of Extravaganza Plus with Seneca. Today I have a very interesting young lady in the person of Ivy Okoro of Ivoma Communications. She's also serving as the Public Relations Director for African Fashion Week, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Viewers, you're welcome back. Well, I'm very excited to introduce to you my very beautiful guest, Ivy Okoro. Like I said, she is the CEO of Ivoma Communications, but she's also serving as a PR director for African Fashion Week. Ivy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Hi, everybody.
Good to have you in the studios.
Thank you for having me today. I'm really excited to be here.
Wonderful. So we're here to talk about the African Fashion Week, which is coming up this coming week, September 18th to 20th.
That is correct. Yes, September 18th through the 24th at various locations throughout the greater Houston area.
There's a lot of activities that you've all laid out for this coming week, right?
Yes, ma'am. So many great activities that we have laid out. So I want to encourage everyone to make sure that you come out, because if you're into culture, if you're into fashion, if you're into lifestyle, or you're just into having a good time, I think African Fashion Week will be a great fit for you.
Wonderful. So African Fashion Week has been rolling for like the last how many years?
4 years. This is our fourth consecutive year. Actually, to kind of give you a little bit of history about African Fashion Week, the organization was actually founded by our CEO, Mr. Nkem Orji-Alala, and he did his first fashion series back in, I want to say 2007, and he realized that there was definitely a lack of presence of really highlighting African fashion with the appropriate platform, and definitely being a gentleman of African descent, he decided to really explore that narrative. And as of 2014, we've been doing our full-fledged African Fashion Week series consecutively, now going on 4 years.
So exciting. I personally love the African Fashion Week because it gives me an opportunity to come out and see what the current trends are in African fashion. But let's talk about the activities for this coming week. You guys have a lot laid out, and I can see here you're going to have like an executive reception.
Yes, ma'am.
When is that going to be?
So the executive reception takes place on Monday, September 18th, and that's going to be at the Ogun Art Gallery, and that will be an evening of bringing out some of Houston's finest, whether they're executives, celebrities, high-profile individuals, fashion industry experts, and so forth. We'll have a great time, just kind of mingle and start to warm up the week. And then we go right into Thursday, which is our art, wine, and culture event. And so we'll have a little bit of art, a little bit of wine, a little bit of culture, and a mini fashion show at the Sherry Flores Garden Pavilion in Herman Park area. So we would love for you guys to check that as well too. And then on Friday, we actually have our first major runway show for the Fashion Week, which is the Anchor Four Seasons fashion show that will take place at the Holiday Inn, West Chase. And we are looking forward to highlighting some of our spectacular designers, both emerging, established, and student designers as well. And then that evening, we're going to have an after party. It's going to be a very interesting concept. So basically, it's a silent party. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Okay, so a silent party is basically a party where in general, there's silence, but you're still getting music because you're wearing the headphones, and you can actually plug into different. I know, it's so cool. You can plug into different sounds from the different DJs that we'll have, and that's going to be at the A-Lock Hotel downtown, and it's going to be a rooftop nighttime party.
That's really exciting, viewers. Wow, you don't need this. So, I mean, this is like an upgrade from your previous, years of African Fashion Week. Viewers, we actually have some footage of our coverage of some of African Fashion Week from previous years, which we're going to show you. So that's going to be an interesting thing to look forward to in this episode. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. So Ivy, tell us about the designers. Like as you've seen so far. They've been upgrading, improving, So who are your new designers? Who are the ones that you've been working with for the last 4 years that have,
Oh
not
yeah,
on the
definitely.
spotlight.
If I can remember all of them by heart, because we actually do have a variety of designers. Over the years, we've been very fortunate to kind of have like our house designers, such as House of Chikora. House of Chikora.
Okay.
And so that designer is Annette Njau, and she has done a phenomenal job over the years. She was actually one of our big noisemakers last year. So she named her collection after her son, Chikora, and she will be one of the presenting designers at this year's Fashion Week series. But we're very excited to welcome some of our newer designers as well. So for example, we have Emma Couture, and that's going to be Miss Julie Ihe. And Julie is a bright and bubbly young lady based here in the greater Houston area. She has some very, very beautiful ballroom-like type of fashion that you would love, and everything in between. And I especially also want to highlight on our student designers from the Art Institute of Houston. A lot of people may not know, but we actually have a very important partnership that we do to help promote and advance education in the classroom when it comes to fashion, called Project AI. This is our second year doing this program with the Art Institute of Houston, and what we do every single year, we donate different types of Ankara prints and fabrics to the school. The students then design these different types of garments and clothing and so forth, and then they have a competition where about 40 to 60 students submit their clothing to be evaluated by a panel of judges, both from our parent company, Follow Signature Essence, and then also from the Art Institute of Houston. And then our panel of judges select the top 10 students who will showcase at the Ankara Four Seasons Fashion Show on Friday, September 22nd, and also our second fashion show, the Kotoko Fashion Show, which will take place on Sunday, September 24th.
Wow. So why did y'all decide to have 2 runways this time around?
Because why not? You know, I think a lot of people probably get lost in the narrative sometimes that African fashion is only about Ankara print. African fashion goes beyond that. African fashion talks so much about who we are. When you look at fashion in Africa, you see our traditions, you see our cultural values. You can tell by what someone is wearing, where they come from, what their, their tribal colors may be, or whatever the case. And we wanted to make sure that we continue to bring that range to African Fashion Week, because it would be unfair to just say, oh, okay, you know what, we're just going to do Ankara print. When, why not get to know another culture, you know, what's going on down in, Madagascar, what's going on in Morocco, what's going on in Egypt, and all around, so we're really excited to make sure that we continue to advance that narrative, and who knows, by next year we may have 3 or 4 runway shows.
So this is basically like a melting pot of all cultures, couture, dance, whatever it is about African fashion in the way it is expressed. I think Houston is really setting a trend with African fashion in the United States, because a lot of young people are beginning to go, trendy with African fashion, and it's become mainstream here in Houston.
Absolutely.
And even all over the United States. So you guys are actually helping to set the trend.
And right? I'm really, yes, absolutely. I'm so glad you brought that up, Seneca, because here in the United States, as you mentioned, we are starting to really see this movement of Africans, both whether they're immigrants or diasporans or Afropolitans in between, who are really starting to gain that cultural pride, and they really want to show it in the things that they wear as well too. Yeah. There are other African Fashion Week series around the world, some very popular ones, such as the one in London and Amsterdam, and even in Lagos as well too. But in the United States, I would have to say that I think we're the most popular.
Houston rocks.
Houston rocks, exactly.
That's great. That's great. So, what else is different with this year's African Fashion Week that you've incorporated?
I would have to say, for this year's African Fashion Week, what's very different is that we are doing a lot more than we've ever done. This is nearly a whole week of activities that we're doing from Monday all the way through Sunday. And also, we are also representing a brand new charity this year, which is the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Oh, wow. We are really, really proud to be working with this organization. I want to give a major shout out to our friends at the National Breast Cancer Foundation. They have their corporate offices based in the Dallas area. What we really admire about this organization is that they do phenomenal work around the world, and especially on the African continent, when it comes to advocating for women who have breast cancer or want to take advanced movements and making sure that they get any type of detections or any type of treatment and things like that. And they have a program that is actually housed here in the greater Houston area that goes abroad to the continent and continues to do work throughout the different countries. And we want to also shout out to MD Anderson and say thank you very much for all the work that you continue to do to support the African community abroad as well, and to help women and make sure that we fight against breast cancer. And for those of you that don't know, National Breast Cancer Awareness Month is in October, and since we're just literally weeks away, we want to make sure that we stand side by side with our partners on that and advocate for that platform.
So are we going to have representatives from MD Anderson at the African Fashion Week event?
We are working on getting some of the representatives present, and we will be getting some updates very shortly. We've been in talks with one of the representatives. Hi, Michelle. How are you doing? And we are looking into it. Definitely, if not a representative, we may actually have some cancer survivors present. So we're looking forward to making sure that we represent their platform. So this another important thing I should mention. A portion of our proceeds for this year's Fashion Week series will benefit the National Breast Cancer Foundation and also the Houston Hurricane Harvey Relief Fund.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that, because as you know, it's been a really crazy week or two here in Houston. And this is right behind the Hurricane Harvey episode and aftermath. A lot of people who are displaced, and you know, so it'll be nice to share with the community that this is actually going to benefit them. So kudos to African Fashion Week.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So hey, tell us about the Ankara Four Seasons Fashion Show. That's going to be happening. Which day is that?
Again, that's going to be on Friday, September 22nd.
That's the Friday one.
Yeah, that's the Friday one, and that's going to be at the Holiday Inn West Chase Hotel. And that will take off. We'll start red carpet around 6 p.m. Showtime should start about 7 p.m. And that's going to be a really, really, really nice fashion show because it's all things Ankara, and of course on the play of the word Ankara Four Seasons. So you will see Ankara based on all seasons of the year. Your fall, spring, summer, winter.
Oh,
you'll see.
So exciting.
I know, right? And you'll see highlights of Ankara for men, for children, and for women as well too. You'll see how Ankara is played on a casual versus a more upscale look. There you go. Great word.
I love fashion, so I know all the words.
Oh yeah.
My viewers, I'm just. So then the one on Sunday has a different feel and theme to it, right?
Right. So that is called the Kotoko Fashion Show. That will take place on Sunday, September 24th, and that's going to be at the Houston studio. And that fashion
Where's
show.
The Houston studio?
This is going to be in East Downtown. So it's actually in the East Downtown area, and it's the first time that we're doing our fashion show there. Most people that are familiar with African Fashion Week are used to us having our grand fashion show at the Ava Center. But of course, with growth, you gotta, expand. So we're really excited to be working with them, and this Houston rental studio space is really, really awesome. Very cool looking atmosphere, and I think you guys will love it. With the Kotoko Fashion Show, we are highlighting all variables of African fashion. So that's really what it means. Kotoko means beautiful.
Right.
And
what language?
Oh, that's a good question. I can't remember off the
Well, that's something that you will have to find out, viewers. So come to the African Fashion Week.
Exactly. We'll tell you guys that. I actually know it. I just kind of have forgotten at the moment.
So viewers, stay tuned. There's more to come. We'll be right back. Well, viewers, you're welcome back. This is very, very interesting. You don't want to miss this African Fashion Week. So, Miss Ivy Okoro.
Yes.
I love your name. So now, I see over here that on September 24th, which is the Sunday, which is like the crowning glory for the whole African Fashion Week.
Yeah, the grand finale.
The grand finale.
Yes, ma'am.
We're going to have what you call the marketplace, and this is going to be during the day before the Kotoko Fashion Show. Tell the viewers a little bit about the marketplace. What can they expect?
Absolutely. So the marketplace is going to be a really exciting showcase of all of our different vendors and different highlights of our fashion designers as well too. You can expect a room full of goods if you're into shopping and into accessories and all little fun things. You'll definitely get a good glimpse of what's to come, including some tables that will feature some of our runway designers for that evening as well too.
Beautiful. So people can actually get to purchase items that they like, right?
Exactly.
That they see on the runway.
Yeah, I don't. Well, it depends on what's on their inventory, but I would assume that they may have some items from the runway there. I can only assume. I can't guarantee, but yeah. But definitely, at least you'll get a little touch and feel of what to get. You can buy from our designers or any of our visiting vendors from around the greater Houston area. We're always promoting and advocating for small business at African Fashion Week.
Wonderful. I love that you've incorporated different aspects of African culture, like wine, like art. It's not just going to be fashion. It's going to be a little bit of, tasting from Africa, different aspects of our culture, African culture. So now tell the viewers about this executive reception, because this is new, right?
Yes.
And why the choice of Ogun Art and Wine?
So absolutely. So the Ogun Art and Wine Gallery, that is a really, really awesome, really, really cute and very fun space. We just felt like we wanted to have a really nice atmosphere to give everyone before, we get into the week to kind of kick off ambience. Yes, ma'am. And that's going to be a really awesome night. Like I mentioned earlier, we'll just kind of gather and you'll get to kind of rub shoulders with some of our, who's who of Houston.
Like who?
Oh, like who? Exactly. Like Mr. KG Smooth of KMJQ Magic 102.1. For those of you that love to listen in the night hours, he is the smooth voice of the night, and we're really excited to have him as our host of the evening.
Oh wow!
Yes.
That voice is gonna be serenading everyone. You better don't miss this.
Especially you ladies. So and then as well at Art, Wine, and Culture, we'll actually have a very popular poet here in the Houston area called Seven, who will serve as the host for the evening as well too. And with Art, Wine, and Culture, it's going to kind of be a little play on the art, the wine, and the culture, and a little mini runway show for everyone to kind of get them warmed up for the weekend. I
loved it when you said wine. You know what came to my mind?
What?
Palm wine. Ooh, are you gonna do any of that?
You know what? We should definitely get some palm wine. I know some of our patrons may not expect that, but who knows? But yeah, I guess you would have to come and find out, right?
Yes. So before I let you go, just tell us a little bit about the dance. Because the other episodes of African Fashion Week or previous years that I've covered, I loved it because dance from different parts of Africa was showcased. So are you going to have some of that this time around?
We are anticipating that we'll definitely have that. And I wanted to make a note that not only will we have for those of you that are very familiar with the African Fashion Week brand, we tend to have performances and dance presentations at the runway shows.
Yes.
We also plan on doing this as well at the Love My Neighbor Community Festival. That will take place on Saturday, September 23rd at the Budweiser Brewery Experience Fairgrounds. So that will be from 12 to 8 p.m. And you can bring your families out. It's a family-friendly event, and that will be a day full of entertainment on the live stage, performers, and there's so many of them. I can't really name all of them. So I really encourage all of you guys to check that out. But to kind of sum it all up, yes, we are very big on not only showcasing African fashion, but also showcasing African culture in action. And a big part of African culture is our dance. So
yes, African culture in action. So tell the viewers, how can they get tickets? How much are the tickets? Where can they get information? Is it on Eventbrite, your website, all that good stuff?
Okay, awesome. So for anyone that's interested in purchasing tickets for African Fashion Week, all you have to do is go online to our official website, which is afwhouston.com. You can also look us up on Eventbrite by typing in African Fashion Week Houston. And to continue to get the latest updates on all things African Fashion Week, just follow us on social media, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or Snapchat at AFW Houston.
Wow, it has been beautiful having you here.
Thank you.
Viewers, I hope you've enjoyed this very, very informative, exciting expose on the African Fashion Week right here in the city of Houston. So make it a date, go out and, plug yourself into one of the many activities that they're going to be having. Once again, it's going to be from next Monday, right?
Yes, that is Monday, September 18th through Sunday, September 24th at various locations throughout the greater Houston area. And you can look us up online at afwhouston.com.
Wow, it has been wonderful having you here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
So Viewers, on that note, we've come to the end of this special episode of Extravaganza Plus with Sanika. We hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for clips. My name is Yusenika, and I'm bringing you highlights from the African Fashion Week that just concluded here, organized by Inkem Ojilala, and I have here one of the most sought after designers, Mr. Teddy Legwedian. How do you do?
I'm fine, ma'am. How are you doing?
I'm great. Well, we just concluded the show. It was beautiful. But I want you to tell the viewers, what is the essence of your designs? Where do you get your motivation from? And how can they buy, your merchandise? Just the most important things about why you're a designer and why you came out here today.
Okay. One of my label's greatest source of inspiration is Mother Africa.
Wow.
The culture, the traditions, the festivals, the architecture, the hills, the mountains, in fact, everything about Mother Africa. Mm-hmm. Africa has been blessed with a lot of colors, traditions, mm-hmm. cultures, mm-hmm. and it gives us an innumerable source of inspiration.
Definitely.
So we are very, very inspired by Mother Africa.
Okay. Yes. Well, your designs are mostly for men, if I notice. Why?
Oh, okay. Okay. For this show, we just put a twist to it. Mm-hmm. The name of the label actually is Blokes and Divas. Okay. We make clothes for women and men. Okay. And we've been in business for like 12 years, and we'll be showcasing mainly our female line. Okay. And the male line has sort of been there. So this last couple of years, we're trying to push the male line out, okay. and get it on the same level with the female line, okay. and let both lines grow together.
Okay, yes, that's wonderful. So how can viewers get to buy merchandise from you?
Okay, we are based out of Dallas, Fort Worth, in Texas, and you can buy directly off our website, www.shopblokesanddivas.com.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Nice to talk to you this evening.
My pleasure.
It's been a wonderful show, and it was just vibrant, and all your designs are just outstanding. So, I mean, how on earth do you get inspiration for all these gorgeous designs?
Thank you for such a beautiful introduction. The inspiration behind this collection was a message to empower women. I went to everything that represents women, from their struggles to their success. When I was working on this collection, I was also working on a project called Ideal Women, which recognizes women that have paved the way in my country. And so I felt that as a designer working on this project, I also have to come up with a collection that stands for this message. So that's why I call my collection Ideal Women.
Wonderful. So I hear so much about you, but I'm sure that viewers would also want to know where you come from. So where are you based and where you come from? What's your native country?
Okay. I am from Equatorial Guinea.
Wow, that's awesome. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Your designs do they have a flair from Equatorial Guinea, or like I can see what you're wearing is really nice. Is that from Equatorial Guinea?
No, but it's African. So I love to try every type of fashion, and I love fashions that connect with every other culture. So like my collection, I don't know say it's specifically Equatorial Guinea, the style is that, but I always try to work on a message in which every culture can relate. In this new collection, we could see things that Africans can relate. We could see styles that Asians could relate. We could see styles that the Western world, American could relate. So I just didn't want to make style that just say, okay, he's an African designer and he's just African style.
Okay. Until next time, this is your host, Yusanika, signing off. God bless.